I am so pumped for today's episode for you. We are going to be talking about how the Health Biz Academy has transformed, what is included, and to give you a really deep dive in terms of all of the different elements inside of our course portal, all of the coaching, what's involved in that process, and then some incredible stories from some of our students who have had great results from key elements inside this course and how it has helped them grow and scale their health businesses.
Welcome to Swift Coaches Academy, a podcast dedicated to bringing health and wellness professionals the uncensored truth behind what it really takes to succeed in the health industry with me, your host, Zenia Wood. As an accredited exercise physiologist and business owner for almost a decade, I'm on a mission to transform the lives of ambitious health professionals like you who want more and are ready to take action to create incredible impact in your careers and unlock financial freedom in your business. So join me as I speak candidly with industry leaders about the struggles and successes from within the trenches through thought-provoking conversations.
So without further ado, this is for you, today's episode, if you are in health. So that could be that you are a personal trainer, sports scientist, strength and conditioning coach. This could be anything allied health. So I've worked before with naturopaths, I've worked with dietitians, I've worked with massage therapists, exercise physiologists, physios, osteos, you name it in allied health. I have worked and supported these business owners to grow. And this is anyone starting from zero, literally you don't have a business, you're an employee of someone else's, right through to multi six figures. We're talking sort of up until 7-figure mark, $1 million mark in their business. And so the systems that we have, and there are tiers in this. So, if you're a newbie, you're not going to be hanging out with someone who's got a multi six-figure business and going through a scaling process, because that to me just doesn't make sense. So there are different stages and elements, but the crux of the program is the same for everyone to support them at whatever level they're at. They can take what they need. So if that is you and you're keen, should also say that, wellness and mindset coaches, we've got a habit coach in at the moment. We've got some women's health coaches involved as well. So all of those categories are something that I have really, really nailed and defined the business academy for and can help support to grow. So I want to talk to you about some of these stories because some of these are pretty cool. And I'm going to do that by going through the different topics that are included in the 2.0 version and what that looks like. So the first thing to note is that we have 3 really clear, distinct pillars now. So the first one is clarity, the second one is sales, and the third one is scaling. So if you don't have clarity, then there's no point. If you don't know who you're serving, what you're doing, why you're doing it, what your offers are, then you're really going to struggle, right? Then when we get to sales, we talk about the lead to sale process, the actual sales conversation, and then client retention and the journey for that. And then we're looking at scaling, we're looking at systems, looking at automations, looking at team and how to hire them and what to do and who to hire, and also creating incredible partnerships and referrals that are going to blow up your business. So let me wind back. We're going to start back at clarity and dive into that. So mindset is the first subtopic or topic under clarity. So this is going to be talking all things like business expectations, understanding your why, your vision, mission, values, and how that is going to play into the type of business that you create and what you're going to do moving forward. As small business owners, we know that what happens up here between our ears is going to be dictating most of what comes out into the universe. I have given so many clients and so many students the exact tactical strategies and resources of what to do. And they look at that and they go, oh, and they feel icky, or they feel, I guess, probably more so nervous, and there's something within them that's holding them back. I can't do that. I'm not good enough. I feel like I have imposter syndrome, like I'm not worthy. All of these things come up. So we have to get really fucking strong in our foundations and our mindset as to why we're doing this and how to continue to build resilience throughout the whole thing, so that anytime that you do get asked to do something that is going to push you out of your comfort zone into what I call your stretch zone, you're going to take that with both hands and go, I'm ready for this. Let's go, right? We're not pushing people into their panic zone, which I would say is beyond the stretch zone, but we are going to push and stretch that stretch zone every time that you get into it. Because once you're in your stretch zone for a while, it becomes just a bigger comfort zone that you are in, right? So mindset is where we have to start. I've had countless clients who have said, oh my God, what you said today, or how you reframed that for me, or talking through the mindset of those things is really what helped get me unstuck. And I know that sometimes you're like, I'm here for business coaching, like I don't need mindset, but honestly, it still is the thing that like at the level that I'm at can get me stuck from time to time, because I think, am I good enough to go and speak on stage in front of 6,000 people? And what do I have to say? And who's going to listen to me? And all these little fears and doubts can still creep into my mind as well. And so I'm sharing this with you to help you hopefully feel like, yeah, that can be me, and we're not alone. And it just, the game of mindset never stops, right? I have a certificate in neurolinguistic programming. So I'm a coach in neurolinguistics, and I really tap into the language that we use. And that helps me identify where people are at and how confident they are, so we can make really big shifts really fucking quickly. It is really, really cool. I remember I got a message from a business student, Chloe, and she was like, hey, like I got out of my own way and shit just started happening for me. And I got this interstate speaking gig booked that I'm going to Queensland for, and she's from South Australia. And all of these things started happening for her. And she was creating these partnerships and relationships and building better client results as a result of her mindset. So that has to be the first pillar, and the first heading, the first section underneath that. Then we come to your offer. This is something that health coaches get wrong so often. They go, okay, I'm a personal trainer. And then they say, I want to coach people. But the thing is, we need to start with the person that we work with in mind, and what is the problem that we're trying to solve. People buy solutions to problems. People don't buy personal training. They buy 10 kilos of weight loss because it solves the problem for them of feeling shitty in their clothes, or not having the fitness to be able to run around with their kids, right? So we are solving problems. We are not providing our service of personal training or whatever that is. And it's really important that we clarify that offer. We get super, super clear on it. And that's the same thing, clarify and get clear. And I have a checklist that takes you through the 6 things that you need to make your offer irresistible AF and make it health specific, because we can't generally make guarantees in health saying like, I'm definitely going to get you pain free, because in health, it just doesn't work like that the same, right? You can put a guarantee on, you're going to get something shipped within X number of days for a product, but it gets a little stickier in health. And I've figured out and unlocked how to make health offers irresistible specifically. And then we just tweak and edit and make them sexier and make them way, way more value than what we are charging. And that is the key thing that I think so many health pros get wrong. So we have to start there. Then we go into metrics. Now, if you don't know what you're tracking or any of your numbers and you don't have clarity on that, business gets really tough really quickly. And this doesn't mean that you need to have all these math skills and, have university qualifications in maths. I don't even have any of those uni level qualifications in maths. But what you do need to know is you do need to know how to effectively track the numbers that matter in your business. An example of this was a business student, Kirby, and he wasn't tracking any of his metrics and was feeling really stressed and overwhelmed. And I said, look, like the first thing is we need to track your lead to sales process. We need to track the dollars coming in, and we also need to be tracking your financials and your budgeting. So what's going out, expense incoming and outgoings. Okay. And I got him to just track that and send that to me every single week. And he still does this. And within the first 3 weeks, what we saw is between week 1 and week 3, he increased his revenue, his recurring revenue, by $830 a week. Right? Just by tracking it and getting clear on the metrics that matter, and then taking actionable steps in the areas that he needed to focus on and improve on. And so we're looking at, if you need 4 more clients and they're all $100 each per session or something like that, and your conversion rate is 50%, then obviously you need 8 leads to turn into 4 clients. But if you don't know those metrics, then you're kind of going, I want more leads, I want more sales, and it just doesn't put maths to it so that you can get clear on like, this is what I need to input to get the outputs that I want. So metrics is really huge. We have so many systems, templates, Google is like spreadsheets and things that I have created for you, and you just plug and play your data in and it will spit you out and it will tell you exactly where you need to focus and what you need to do. I think that that is a huge, huge benefit of this academy program. It's something I started with when I was first starting out and trying to go, what the hell, how am I doing this? Managing cash flow is so, so important as well. Then we move into sales. So the 3 elements of sales is leads, the sales process, and the client journey. So when it comes to leads, we talk about lead generation strategies, and there's a biz student who we have at the moment. Her name's Ashley, and I basically got her to input one of these lead gen strategies. This was organic, and she got 8 workshops booked with using a specific DM script that I created for her and a follow-up process. And she got 8 workshops booked with other facilities so she can stand in front of her ideal clients and create value for them and then sell to them. So that is incredible from her following this script. I think she only ended up reaching out to like 38 or so different businesses to get 8 booked in. That's like almost 25%. That's a crazy results for her. And an incredible thing when we get out of our own way and we go, oh, messaging people is icky or whatever, and we really dive into the why, and we know why we're doing this, and we have the frameworks and the scripts to be able to just go and execute, it becomes so much easier. I also get so many messages every single week of clients saying like, I got 2 more leads, I got 3 more leads, I got, 3 sales calls booked in, I converted 3 more clients, and they come flooding, and I am so here for it. And I love it because when we get out of our own way and we have these processes in place, shit happens. And we make it happen too, which is really, really cool to see. And then we feed off each other in the group and the vibe, right? Then we go into our sales process. So a lot of times, specifically health professionals really feel a little icky. This might be you as well, uncomfortable in sales. Or they're like, I don't want to have to sell. I want people to just want to buy my stuff, which is great. And I totally agree. You want people to want to buy your stuff, but you need to help articulate the benefits of it, the value of it, and make sure that that feels like an incredible win for the amount that you're charging. That's not to say that you charge pennies on the dollar for what you are worth. That is to say that you have so much value and so much to give that people see the value in that and they want to spend more. This is the whole, buying a car for $20,000 is a great deal if that car is a Lamborghini, right? But if it's a 2000 model Honda, then it's not a great deal. So if we can be the Lamborghini or the Gucci of what we're doing in health, and we have so much value to give, people are willing to spend that because of the difference between the value and the cost. And so it feels like a no-brainer. Okay. So I go through that sales process. I remember Oscar was talking to me about this, and he used to feel really icky. Some people would say, I need to think about it. And he would just go, okay. And then they would ghost him. He would never follow up. And we got him to a point where he was saying, okay, awesome. Like, what do you need to think about? Working through our objection handling framework. And he was able to sign up 2 clients in the following 2 weeks just by asking, what do you need to think about, and being confident and feeling good about helping craft a solution with them and not sort of fighting and combating against them in sales. So that's some of the stuff that we go through in sales. Then we have our client journey. So once a client's on board with you, we have a 4-step process. We retain, we get them to refer people to us, and we have systems and automations for that, that we can plug into any business. Then we talk about renewals and how to get them to re-sign. Maybe they upgrade, maybe they come into a downgraded package. And then we transition them into a raving fan where they tell everyone and anyone about you and they absolutely love you. So that client journey is really important, right? Because if we don't have a great product in the first place and we're selling people into something and they're not loving it, then that client journey becomes really hard and sticky. And there's some key time points in terms of when clients will feel a ton of love towards your brand and your affinity. And we want to try and sustain that for as long as possible and create little wow experiences and moments for them that can be personalized, but also at the same time create some that are automated so that everyone's getting a very similar experience and they're all feeling the same way and positively about you and your brand. Awesome. Then we move into scale. So scaling can feel a little daunting if you're like, I don't have a business yet, or, like I'm not at full capacity yet. But scaling doesn't necessarily have to come in the form of, I'm going to hire this huge team and I have to spend and invest all this money and I have to be, losing money to scale. Scaling should typically be happening from, I talk about it also in terms of automating, systemizing, delegating, and eliminating things in your business. Because if you can scale that, that means your time is going to be, you're going to create more time for yourself. So that's, in a way, it's scaling what you're doing, right? But then when we are looking at full capacity, or we're pushing that capacity red line a little bit, then we want to have a look at our different scaling metrics or pillars. So the first one is systems. And I remember when Matt came to us, he was stressed out. He was not spending time with his wife and bub as much as he wanted to. He was, doing all of this admin work late at night. He was sleep deprived. He wasn't prioritizing his health and he was really struggling. And I remember we talked about putting some systems in his business so that he doesn't have to do all of that, right? This for him required creating some automations and things that he set up once that get to happen forever and ever. And it also allowed him to hire a virtual assistant who we have through Swift Assist that we can transition and help coach you to be able to delegate. And if you've never hired someone before, it can be really daunting to do that. I remember when I was trying to hire my first virtual assistant, I was like sending WhatsApp messages and being like, hey, do this, do that, do this. And 3 weeks later, I'd be like, where's the thing that I asked for 3 weeks ago? And they're like, I don't even remember. This is so stressful. Like, how am I supposed to find that? And so creating standard operating procedures, or SOPs, you might know them as, and creating other elements that are going to allow for better communication, better delegation, and a greater environment with your first hire, particularly if it's like an offshore Swift assistant or someone who doesn't work next to you and you can't have as many touch points or personal interactions with, can be really challenging and daunting. So we help that process. We'll pop the link in the show notes for Swift Assist if you are looking for virtual support that we help you offload and manage that as well. But really, the systems was the big thing for Matt and for so many other of our students, to be honest. And this is looking at how do we create systems in your business? Like if you have 4 emails and all these things that you want to send people in onboarding, or people keep forgetting how to log into this app or whatever, can you create a system or a platform or a portal or some way that they can find this information, or that it gets drip fed to them through like an email series? There's so many different options with this, and that's what I love about it. It's really cool, and we can personalize and customize it to you and help figure out what your systems need to be. And this can be just simple things like, do you have text and email reminders that go out more than once to your clients in reminder for their appointments? What about if their payments bounce? Is someone manually following that up, or can you have a system that does that for you so you can spend more time doing what you love and less on the back end admin load? That one, I think, is huge. Then it comes to team. So yes, hiring the Swift assistant or a VA or whatnot can be a huge, huge benefit to your business if done right. But then also hiring an actual, say, assistant coach or someone who does something else in your business, whether that's administration or whether that is doing what you do and is maybe less senior to you in their role, right? So we have an example of this recently where one of our scale clients, Jeremy, has hired a coach and then went to Vietnam for 4 weeks, and he made $4,100 in profit, not revenue, in profit, from being overseas in Vietnam, doing 0 hours of work the whole time he was there, and someone else looked after his client load for him. And he gave the coach like just less than half of that. So like, it wasn't as if he was paying the coach nothing either. He was paying the coach quite a lot to make sure that that coach, as a contractor, we decided was best for him, was getting looked after as well. And his clients are getting service too. And so it's going to lead to less churn and less clients leaving, greater retention. There's so many benefits to this. And I just think that there's so much power in hiring team, but it can be really daunting. And like, what do you do? And how do you choose if you want casual or part-time or full-time, and what are the legal implications and what is the compliance? I run you through all of that because I remember trying to pull my hair out trying to do this, and then teaching others how to do this. We have systems, templates, we have pros and cons charts that you can run through and make sure it works for you, because each business is going to be different and their goals will be different. And so therefore, who and what type of hire they make will be different as well. But that's pretty cool, right? For the first hire, for the first 4 weeks, to make over $1,000 every single week is wild. And there are so many more coaches who are doing this inside our programs every year as well. Then we have partnerships. Now, partnerships is really the game changer here when it comes to scaling. And you can do this before you've scaled. I spoke before about Ashley doing workshops. That's effectively a partnership as well. But then we can talk about next level partnerships and having partnerships that are win-win, right? And there's a difference between having like someone who refers you clients and creating a really solid partnership where you go into business together in some capacity. There may be an incentive or a financial kickback, or there may be some sort of client database exchange, and you might cross-pollinate your audiences or talk on each other's platforms or whatever that looks like. But setting up and creating these relationships and getting really strategic with who you want and creating great partners who are complementary, not competitive to you, is something that I have found really skyrockets businesses. For example, we had Kira in our business, as a business student, and she started with me in January. And 3 months later, she had created only a couple of partnerships, but they were really, really effectively done. And she went from literally $0, like had no money in her business, and she's now hitting 10K months 3 months on from that. So it just goes to show how important partnerships can be, and they are the fuel to the fire, making sure that you have the system set up, you have the mindset, the clarity, a really good offer, you know your metrics, you can sell people into your program. Then adding partnerships is something that is really the juice that I've found. So many people are trying to do this alone and trying to be like, well, you know, like they're afraid and they've got this scarcity mentality, as opposed to this collaborative approach. And when we collaborate, not only is business more fun, but we all get to benefit from that. The clients get better results. We get more money. Our business partners get greater value from us, and they'll get more money from it as well. And it really just serves everyone and makes business not feel so lonely. So I love talking about partnerships as well. So that's I guess the bulk of the primary course inside the portal, but there's some other things. So there's so many different tools inside all of those different topics that I spoke about. There are plug and play systems, there are templates, there is a whole workbook that basically runs you through it, and you can go back through this as often as you want. You get your own workbook when you sign up, and with the goal of making sure that going, holy shit, like that could feel like a lot of content already for you. But the goal is not to go through every single thing in the content, tick it off and be an A+ student and know all the things. The goal is to grow and scale your business and create something that you love, right? So the support with that and making sure that you are on track and doing the segments of the content that are relevant for you is where I come in. So we have an incredibly lengthy onboarding questionnaire, and I basically from day one create your roadmap for the next 12 months. Now, depending on which level that you choose to go into, or where I sort of deem your best fit, will depend on whether you go into grow or scale, or we work one-on-one together. So with Grow, you're going to get 90-day road mapping sessions. So that's quarterly one-on-one calls. If you're in Scale, you're having those monthly, and then one-on-one is bespoke, and we can talk about that as well. But basically, we're setting your 90-day roadmap strategy, all the action items that you need to do, and how to get you to your 12-month goal. And it's going to give me a really clear picture of where you're at in business now, where your holes are, and so we can fill those holes in your leaky bucket before we start to fill the bucket. Cool? What else have we got? We have practical masterclasses every single month. And these are related to topics that I spoke about before, whether it's team, whether it's the last one we did recently was client journey. And I spoke really in depth about that 4-stage retain, refer, renew, raving fan process. This month we're talking about systems, and then the month after that we're going to go through and do another 90-day review, all as everyone who's part of that program jumping on a live call. These practical masterclasses are 90 minutes each, and you walk away from this not with a whole bunch of things you need to action, but shit already done, which I think is so, so important. There's so much content and information and education out there, but oftentimes we get lost in the sea of like doing and learning the things, that we don't actually execute on them. So it's really execution in these practical masterclasses. I'm huge about taking action and being practical with it, not giving you shit that doesn't make sense or isn't something you can conceptualize or use in your business. It's about creating strategies and then implementing them and testing, going again, right? So we talk about learn, implement, and reflect, and then go again. So you learn, implement, reflect. And so that cycle, and the quicker you can speed that up, the better results that you get, because more failures equals more chance of success, and you get to tweak and modify, which is really cool. We also have expert masterclasses. These are a little more ad hoc. We're currently doing them once every month or two, but we have experts come in. We had someone on Facebook ads. We've had someone on lead gen automation. We have gone through, my accountant has come on, I've had a brand strategist come on, and every single time they are giving away exclusive value adds, discounts, bonuses, and opportunities to work with the people who are in my inner circle who have supported me to get to where I am as well. So they're really, really cool, and you can ask them live questions. So that is something that I find that has been really sought after and something that our students are loving. We have our community hub. So this portal online that is segmented into different questions and categories is really, really cool. So everyone gets to integrate and mingle and talk and ask questions. And the thing that I love, this isn't just like, oh, it's just like a Facebook group where people message and no one fucking responds anymore. This is like, we are getting some serious high level business owners in health come into this program, and then they are being so giving and providing their comments, their feedback, their suggestion on what is and isn't working for them, and also feedback on other people who ask questions in the group. And I really feel like we've created an incredible community that's only growing, and that is really where some of the magic happens. We've got people jumping on like sales calls, practices together outside of our group calls, and meeting up in person, and there's so many incredible things happening in that group that it's just such an important part of this, is to not be feeling like you're doing it alone. Then we have your coaching calls. So if you are in Grow, which is our level 1, you would get 2 coaching calls a month. And those are our group calls. And if you are in Scale, they happen 3 a month. And those are smaller, more intimate calls as well. So just depending on what level you're at in business, if you are growing your business, so typically 0 to 100K or a little bit more, that is Grow. And then Scale is looking to hire, to scale, to create a scalable service and go away from one-to-one and transition into one-to-many. That is our Scale program. And just seeing people go from, like, I remember, Chloe and Taylor and Keith and Jeannie and Erin, and there's so many names that come to mind of people who started with me like really small itty bitty businesses. Like Jeannie was working as an employee when she started, had no business, and then seeing them go into grow, transition to scale, and doing their own thing in their business, you know, buying a gym and doing that, or creating an online course. And it's just such a fucking cool thing to see. And I'm so proud and also like humbled that these coaches are allowing me to guide them with that to create these incredible results. So really there's, I mean, more things that we're adding to the program every single week at this rate. But really, if this is something that interests you, I really encourage you to just have a look at the link in the show notes for the Health Biz Academy, because we are growing and expanding this and supporting more people all of the time. And if you are listening to this before the 6th of June, 2024, then I am here to also invite you to our masterclass, where I'm going to dive deeper into some of the topics and actually give you some of these templates and some of these script and some of these little tricks and hacks, and show you visually how you can implement these in your business so that you can help grow and scale your business to consistent $20,000 months, which we have done successfully for so many coaches already. So I'm going to chuck a link in the show notes to that. You would be stupid not to just have a look at that link and join us live. You'll get to ask me whatever you want, and I'm going to go through and just hand you out so many freebies. The reason I do this is because I have seen, and I remember a coach that I worked with for such a long time, and she closed her business during COVID and didn't reopen it. And part of the reason why I do what I do is because I don't want to have to see another incredible coach who's so good at what they do technically, but they leave the industry because they no longer know how to run a business, and they can't keep it profitable and keep it cash flow positive so that they can do the thing they love and support more people in the world. Because the wellness of our world and the health of our world is really, really big topic, and it's something that's really important to me and hopefully you as well. And if we can have more incredible health professionals who are growing incredible businesses that serve people, that create an impact, but also give more time and profit back to the business owner so that they feel like they're in love with it still and they don't want to leave the industry, then that is my job done. So if this feels like something that you would like to have a chat with me one-on-one about, and joining the Health Biz Academy is something that you are interested in, all those links will be down in the show notes as well. And until next time, move swiftly. I have a tiny favor to ask of you, and that is to just hit that subscribe button if you have not done it yet. If you've made it this far, then I hope that this has been valuable for you and for us to get more incredible guests in front of your earlobes and faces. If you're watching us on YouTube, then please do that now. And if you have any feedback or suggestions for me, or something that was a golden nugget that really stood out to you in this episode, I would absolutely love if you flicked me a message over on Instagram at Zenia Wood Official. Until next episode, and in whatever you do, move swiftly.